Okay, so I've nothing prepared on what I want to talk to you about marketing, but I just thought we'd chat about it. And, I'd get my thoughts out there because I've seen a lot of people wasting thousands. Oh, here's Pam. Just let Pam in. I've seen a lot of people wasting thousands and thousands of dollars, pounds, euros, whatever it is, in Amazon ads. And I'm in like this other Amazon ads course. And what happens is when we first publish a book, hi Pam, when we first publish a book on Amazon, Amazon kind of gives a bit of extra visibility for 30 days, and they even say this. It's in the small print. So it's a well-known thing that you get a bit of extra visibility for 30 days. So then a lot of people think, okay, I'm going to run some Amazon ads for those 30 days because I've got the extra organic visibility from Amazon, and then I'm going to pump some money into this book as well. So then I'm going to get a ton of sales. And it kind of depends what kind of book it is, in my opinion. If it's like a high content book and it's quite a high price, we're just throwing money down the toilet because it's not got any reviews. There's nobody that said this is a good book. So I think the higher price books, the higher content books, it's just a complete waste of time. But what I've seen with coloring books, I've seen people releasing coloring books having no reviews and they're getting sales and reportedly getting sales and good sales from running Amazon ads in coordination, if that's the word, with the launch of a new coloring book. Why is that? I don't really know. I think if somebody likes the look of a coloring book, if they can see a few of the internal pages, then really it kind of doesn't matter what whether there's any reviews and what the reviews say. They can kind of see what they're getting. And they know what they're getting because they've probably bought other colouring books from Amazon. So they kind of know the quality, they know what the pages are going to be like, the paper. So as long as they like the concept, as long as they like the book cover, the book cover, as long as all of that appeals to them, and they're going to buy it. And in which case, I really think it is worth investing a little bit of money in Amazon ads, but only if we think, yes, my book stands out amongst the other books in this category. My book definitely stands out. My book is the best one. Gosh, look at my gorgeous book cover. It's way better than those 10 there that are coming up on Kip Scout. When I do a search for my book, it's going to come in the feed with these books here. I really am confident that my book has got a brilliant title. It's got a great book cover. It's got a unique spin. So it's slightly different to these other ones in a good way, not a bad way. So if we can make those, have those thoughts and then decide, yes, I'm gonna, invest. I don't know, it could be like $100. It doesn't have to be a lot. It could be, what did they just say? Like $5 a day or whatever. Well, you can't really do that on Amazon ads. It's cost per click on Amazon ads. It's a bit different to the likes of Facebook. But if you are confident that people are going to want your book because it's really good and you're really proud of it, blah, 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 then it's worth running some ads for about 30 to 60 days. And then if you're not at least breaking even with that spend, then that is what I call a dead book. It's a dead duck. And the problem here, here's where the problem where people then start losing thousands is that they get so emotionally attached to that beautiful book that they made, and they made that beautiful book cover, and they spent hours and hours making that gorgeous book. They get such an emotional attachment to this baby that they've just birthed that they just keep the ads running. They go, I'll just keep the ads on for another week or another month or whatever. And that's when the ad spend is then literally being flushed down the toilet because you've then not got that extra visibility from Amazon for the first 30 days. That's gone, right? So we need to, at that point, put our business head on and go, I'm switching these ads off. I've broken even, or maybe if it's breaks even, you might see another week. But when we're operating at a loss after 30 days, it's a dead duck. It's a dead book. It's a dead duck. And the ads need to stop on that book. They've got to stop and we've got to move on to the next one. and then move on to the next one and move on to the next one until we get a book where the ads are actually working and they're at least breaking even or they're in a profit. Now, you might think, what's the point in even being a book publisher if we're just going to run ads at breaking even or at small profit? And the reason why is that when we're breaking even with our ads, we're getting extra visibility organically to our book. It will automatically elevate the organic sales of our books because we're running ads to it. So that's why even breaking even on ads is worth it, because you'll find that you do make a profit with the extra organic sales. And especially if you are in profit with the ads, then you've got the organic sales as well. Then you're going to fly. At that point, this is what I wanted to talk about this. At that point, I think it's then worth having a TikTok. I always say this, a TikTok channel, Instagram, Pinterest, something. It doesn't have to show your face. We're in a beautiful world where we've got AI, or we can just show the pages of our book. You might want to get your nails done, like I definitely need to when I've got this down camera. Um, at that point, and why don't we do the social media first? We could do. Oh, but then I think, would that be a waste of your time? Your time could be spent making your next book. Wouldn't it be easier to run automatic ads, see if that book is working, see if the market wants it with the ads, analyze the ads, know, oh yes, the market is really loving this book. Okay, now I'm going to invest a little bit of time on, spend a day creating little tiny clips of videos. Spend a whole day asking ChatGPT, I'm selling this book. I want to create some little clips. I don't want to show my face. If you don't want to show your face, can you give me some clip scripts and ideas on some little videos that I can create today? I've got one day. Give me a schedule or a schedule. And it will do. It's so great. So you can then, just create 30 little clips, save them in your phone and be putting those up every day, pointing people to your link in your bio. Your link in your bio can be a free link by a company called Beacons. So you can easily have a free link with like 5 or 6 books or 10 books even on Beacons that sends people to your Amazon, and that's where they can then purchase. Or you can send people to a freebie, like a free digital book. Then then you're building up your email list then with people, and then you'll say, once you've downloaded this, we'll send you the link to the book. So that would be even better if you could have that stop in between. You're building your email list and then they get sent the link to your book or whatever. That could be like the thank you, the instant email. I use Stanstore myself. So it sends you an instant email as soon as people put in their name, their email. I just give them something juicy, some juicy reason to put their name and email, and then send them an email straight away. This is what you've downloaded, and here's the link to the gorgeous book that we showed in the reel today or whatever. And then that way you're actually building a business. So you might then think, okay, this book is working. This book is now working on ads. Now I'm sending traffic to it from this social media every day. I've got all these little video clips ready to go. You might add in Pinterest. I don't know a lot about Pinterest, but I will find out and I will do a module on Pinterest because I love visual things and I definitely think it would be brilliant for books because each pin lasts about 3 months, whereas a social media post, I'm not sure with Reels actually, I've not found that out, but most social media posts just last a couple of days. So it would be beneficial to take people to our books from Pinterest. What was I saying there? So yeah, so that is where you then have the seed of a really brilliant business. Once you have got a book that is at least breaking even on ads, then you can add in extra traffic from social media. Then you can add a second book to that series and a third book. And because then you're building your email list, you're starting to build a real, genuine business. Those are people who are interested in that book that you showed. They're going to be interested in the next one and the next one. and the next one. And at this point, this is where, at the beginning of Book Boss, I teach people to try out different books, do a guided journal, do a word search, do a colouring book, and just enjoy yourself for like the first 6 months to see which one you're good at, to see which one you like creating, to see which one is getting a few sales here and there. That's a really good indication that you're going to be good. Because when we become an expert at that book, if somebody just became an expert at word searches, in another 12 months, they are going to be damn good at word searches because we're going to become a real specialist and a real expert in that field. So often, our first book, our second book, our fifth book, our 10th book even may not even break even on Amazon ads. Great if it does. Great if you listen to every word that I say and really have a great book cover, niche and keyword and all of that kind of stuff. But we will get to that book that is breaking even and that is even operating at profit. And remember, most people on Amazon, they've been doing it maybe 5, 10, 15 years. There's a lot of very good book publishers, especially the ones running ads. They have got to that point of where they're a bit of an expert in their ads and they're an expert at the books that they're creating. And we're still all beginners. But we will absolutely get there. And, there's so many book publishers earning tens and tens of thousands of dollars a month. And that's because they persevered, they pushed through the pain, they pushed through the pain of the first books absolutely flopping and nobody buying them. And then they realized what was the key to success was just elevating it that little bit more, just elevating that interior, just elevating that book cover. So that's what I wanted to say about marketing, and the progression is from scattergun approach, seeing what we're good at. Then, yeah, I'll do some training. We're going to test some ads, just make sure they're breaking even. We're not going to be spending hundreds or thousands, definitely not thousands on ads, don't worry. And it's only for the people who can do that. Sometimes we need to wait until income is coming in from books before we can then reinvest, say, 40% of what we get, we reinvest back into ads. And absolutely the first few years of doing this, you feel like you're not making any money. I feel like I'm not making any money, but I can really see how quickly it's growing each month. And if I draw that line through to the next 2 years, I think, wow, I'm gonna have a much better business than I've ever had for all the rest of my life. Yeah, I might not be able to see it right now today, but I can see it growing each month. And I can also see that I can wiggle. I've got these amazing tools. I can use AI where other people are still living in the dinosaur dark ages and paying illustrators and paying book cover designers. I don't need to do that. Some of my cost of production of each one of my books is basically zero. I've got my chat GPT, whatever I'm paying for Midjourney, it's minimal. Yeah. So we're in just a really great position to really go for it. And especially coming into quarter four. We're coming into quarter four now. I would say we've got, the next 30 days. If we can really go for it, if we can really go for it, we can get some brilliant books out there ready for Christmas. Most book publishers make 40% of all their income over the Christmas period. 40% of all their income for the whole year is made over the Christmas period. It's a bit different for us because we're regularly publishing books throughout the year. So I'm talking people. So say people have got a book series of 10, 20 books. They will make 40 to 50% of their entire yearly income over Q4, the Christmas period. Does anyone have any questions about marketing, what to market, where to market, anything like that? I mean, I do think, when I say, oh, I don't think we should have social media go into our books, don't get me wrong, it really does help. And I know some of us are using books as a lead magnet into our business. And if that's the case, absolutely post about it like a mofo, build that email list, post about your books. Make sure people are signing up to an email list and getting a freebie from you so that you are building a business. Um, Marketing, yes. So I'm going to do some training on Amazon ads. I just want to run mine for another month before I actually teach anything because I'm pretty new to it myself. But I have to say, I like it. You can run something called a lottery ad where you put all your books in an ad, and Amazon's AI chooses which book is doing the best, and then you can switch off the others. So, and it's not even a high cost. So that is pretty cool. So yeah, if it say you had 6 colouring books, for example, or even 3 colouring books and 3 word search books, then you could run a lottery ad. Lovely to see you, Nahed. Oh, Pam, do you like my background? Do you both like my background? Can you see it? She needs her glasses. Oh, yay! This is my new office, everyone.
I
So,
love the background, Abby. I think it's beautiful. I
yeah,
love
just
it. I love everything about it.
oh, thank you. It looked nicer last night actually because the lighting made the background even lighter. But because it's daytime and I've got some daylight coming in, it just seems to have just faded a little bit, but I'm still really, really pleased with it. I'm loving these bookshelves. I'm absolutely loving this. So, Nahed, am I saying your name right? What I wanted to say is I've just spoken about marketing our books and I've just talked about Amazon ads. So I'm going to do some training on Amazon ads. Um, So I kind of already talked about the marketing and whether to have social media pointing to our books or whether to wait and see if our books are actually hitting the market, hitting the mark in terms of the market. And I think it's better to see that a book is selling, to have that proof, to have that evidence, even if we're running just a few ads to it. Depends what kind of a book it is. I'm talking mostly medium content books here, colouring books, word search books, puzzle books. I don't really think there's any point running ads to low content books. It's never going to be cost effective. Maybe if you've got a whole series of them or something. And definitely not to a high content book unless it is really, really original and really different and you think the market is really going to love it. In that case, it's worth testing. Mm. Oh, my tea's gone cold. It was too hot, so I put a splash of cold water in it. And now it's too cold. Right. Anyway, what else did I want to talk about? Oh, the iceberg. That's the other thing I want to talk about. How can we make sure our books are the tip of the iceberg? So when we talk about icebergs, think about an iceberg. Does anyone know the stats? Is it 90% of an iceberg is under the ocean? It's something crazy like that, isn't it? That is how I think of Amazon books and book publishers on Amazon. You know, I'm scrolling through Amazon yesterday and I could see so many book covers with this orangey yellow hazy glow that I know is from ChatGPT. Maybe other people don't know that. So I'm going ChatGPT book. Of course, they're not making any money. They're under the surface of the water. They're part of the main part of the iceberg. They're not going to make any money. They needed to just elevate those books a little bit more to bring it to the tip of the iceberg. So a lot of people are thinking, oh, I can use AI to publish loads of books and make loads of money. And then they're making a load of shit and a load of shitty books and just not making any money, funnily enough, because they're just not good enough. But what we can use AI for is to really create the foundation of our book, to create what can we call it? The skeleton of our book. Then we really need to put some effort into polishing it. Even if it's a coloring book, we can polish each of the pages, even if it takes a few hours to polish each page. I had cookies that were not a cookie shape because it was AI in my last coloring book. And I had to erase them using the Canva eraser feature and add in some cookies that looked the same depth of line. You know, we don't want thin line cookies with bold lined the rest of the colouring page. You have to make it look like it belongs to the page. So then I was fiddling around with these cookies and trying to make the lines a bit bolder all around it. And it did take a few hours just for one page. And then I published my book and I realized like on page like 76, there was another cookie and it wasn't round. So anyway, my point is people may not notice that cookie on page 76. It's just annoying me now. And I could probably amend it and re-upload it, which I haven't done yet. But my point is we need to create a book, create the skeleton of it with AI. People are thinking that's their final version. Oh, I've got this with AI, and oh, this is a pretty book cover. Now I'm going to publish it. It's never going to make any money. There has to be some sort of miracle if that book is going to make money, like it's got a really unique angle or it's just hitting the market where nobody else has. There will be a miracle somewhere, but it's not going to happen. So we have to then really work on our book covers, really work on every single page of that book to really polish it off and make it high quality. The books that are going to win in the next 2 to 3 years are going to be the books and the book publishers that embrace AI, that use AI to expedite the publishing process. So where most book publishers were taking about 3 months to create a book 2 years ago, I'm talking independent book publishers that are publishing books for their work rather than people who were creating, like, say, a fiction book series. I would say we are book publishers. So 2 to 3 years ago, it was taking them 3 months per book. Now we can literally create a book at least one a month. I mean, that is at least. I would say let's aim for a high quality book, one per week. But that is somebody who's already been publishing a few books and knows what they're doing. So if anybody's new here, or you just still feel like a newbie, I know what that feels like. If you feel like you're a newbie, aim for one book a month minimum, absolute minimum, and then try to build up to at least one book a week. We are on, I think, 3 books a week, unless we add in some low content as well with that, because Amazon allows us to publish 3 books a day. I try to do that, try my best. I mean, it doesn't often happen, but I try to just throw in a few low content books. We've got our book collaborations as well, so they might take up 1 or 2 of my daily slots. I've also got 3 different Amazon accounts as well. So I'm using my husband's one, I'm using my daughter's one. I do that because I've been doing that for a few months now, and I just don't want to put all my eggs into one basket. You just never know, do you? I've heard of horror stories with Etsy accounts being shut down. I've heard a few stories with Amazon accounts. It's usually copyright issues, and I don't know. Nora, have you heard of anyone having the whole Amazon account shut down? I've heard of them getting suspended, and then you have to like liaise with them.
I have come across them. Not anybody I know personally,
No.
but I've seen it like on Reddit and stuff like that where they're complaining. So yeah,
Yeah. So
can happen.
it does concern me. So if you get into the point where you have got a lot of books published, I would just, open another account. Obviously we can only have one per person. So just use, a partner, a best friend, a daughter, a son, something. Obviously somebody who doesn't want it. And it's probably not legal what I'm suggesting here, but hey, who cares? I just think, well, I'm publishing that for my husband. So there you go. So I don't want every little penny of income that we have, and then to be raising our monthly costs, and then to be really dependent on just one income source. If we're talking about, building sustainable passive income, a financial future and security, I don't want to put all my security in one Amazon account. So I'll stand by what I'm saying, even if it's maybe there's some policy somewhere in the small print that says you can't even do that. But what it does say is one account per person. So I'm kind of bending that rules using my husband's because it's my husband's one. Um, bending the rule there a little bit. But I think I couldn't sleep at night. If I had, say I had $100,000 a month coming into one Amazon account, I couldn't sleep at night thinking, what if something happens, say somebody has a copyright complaint that isn't even right, but Amazon can just suspend an account even if somebody makes the complaint. It doesn't have to be that they found it to be true. It's just if they make a complaint. So I think, well, I don't want to put all my eggs into that one basket. Iceberg. I didn't finish talking about that. So I'll just finish talking about that and then we'll do a bit of co-working. So we want to make sure our book is the bit of the iceberg that you can see from the Titanic. And it's not the 90% that is under that water, because the percentage that is just under that water, if you add in social media traffic, if you add in website traffic, Pinterest traffic, Instagram traffic, Facebook traffic, TikTok traffic, yes, it might be in profit, even if it's below the surface of that iceberg. It might be in profit, even if it's not in profit directly from Amazon. You can get it into profit by adding extra traffic sources. But we don't really want to be working like that, because that's a lot of work. That means you're going to have to hustle, post all the time, cross post on all different sorts of social media for every book that you've got, and your whole day is going to be exhausting. And we want to be in productivity and creativity. Pam says, did I say that Amazon wants us to publish 3 per day? No, they put a cap on 3 per day per account. Yeah. And yeah, definitely. It used to be more than that, and Amazon didn't want us to publish more than that. So they put it down to 3. I think was it 10? I don't know what it was before. I wasn't even here doing Amazon stuff. And I imagine with all these AI tools that they're going to put it down to 1 per day, because people are going to just start pumping out shit. So I imagine they're going to have to change that again fairly soon. So I'm trying to make the most of them allowing 3 books per day. And Nora, you're in a position with your book publishing where you could do this too. Just looking at how can I create premium, low content books, having the same interior and just creating a different cover. Yeah, it could be like blood pressure logbooks. It could be anything where you just use the same interior over and over and over again.
Okay, because that's gas. You must have read my mind. I was just thinking of this, right?
Yeah.
So I did this where I had, oh God, gardening books, and there was like meal plans and things like this, right? And all I did was I changed covers and had them for different people and all that. BookBold has a little extension. Have you seen this with the lister? And yeah, you can actually, all you have to do is change the name. And you can duplicate them. God, now it's a while since I've done them, but you create one, then you duplicate it, and all you have to do then is change the title, and you're clicking a button, and it's going straight to Amazon.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant. And I think, if especially you, if anyone's just feeling a bit overwhelmed and, it's like a sinking ship, don't do this. But if you know what you're doing and you're confident with it, like Nora, and me as well, then you might as well make the most of this 3 per day whilst it's still available, because I do think it's going to go. However, a caveat to this is I do think we should have a little chat with ChatGPT to say what books are trending now. Have a look at what are premium priced low content books. What can you pump out like that with BookBolt that is a more of a premium price? So what premium price low content books are selling well? Have a chat with ChatGPT, have a look for new trends that are coming, and then make them for seniors, make them for, I don't know, teens. So yeah, the secret to low content income is really people knowing exactly who it's for. And I think the other secret is trying to get that price from like pittance to just up a little bit. So if you can do that, Nora and me, I will do that as well. Just thinking about how, yes, I'm pumping out these low content books, but how can I make them the tip of the iceberg? How can I make them the best? How can I make them new, trending, different, unique, especially for a specific person, like you've just said, and I think it will be well worthwhile doing that as a priority every day and thinking, am I publishing today? No. Okay, I'm just going to pump out 3 low content books. Yeah, it might take, I don't know, it probably take a couple of hours, maybe an hour once you get really good at it. And also maybe just spend a whole day doing that research of low content. Could be a rainy Sunday afternoon, just doing that chat with ChatGPT, what's trending, what would be selling really well in low content. What low content books would say schools or teachers want to buy in bulk? I've heard that this is a thing where, you know, some companies will just buy 200 of your books if you've just hit it in the right place. If you think I'm making it for a specific company, for a specific, like for teachers, for homeschoolers, something like that, they will buy those books in bulk. So you could just go, right, for the next 3 months, I'm just going to create low content books specifically for the teaching industry, because some of those books are obviously going to hit the mark. So yeah, so having a bit more of a strategic approach to the low content, I'm going to publish 3 a day, as opposed to I'm just going to put 3 books a day out, whatever they may be, just whatever I feel like. Let's try to have a little bit more of a strategy around it. Yeah, does that make sense, Nora? Yeah. Okay, that's me rambling for 40 whole minutes. Hope it's been worth it. These are a lot of the thoughts I think to myself in bed at night about Amazon ads, about icebergs, about low content publishing. I just don't want everybody's books in Book Boss. Not everybody's, obviously. I don't want them to be those books that just publish and sink. We know that most books are a fail, most books don't make money, but we can get better and better at being that expert, at being that specialist who does strategically create the books that are above the waterline, that are the iceberg books, the floating books.
You know, I had a thought as well. You know, when you were talking about the 2 years the other day, we know that at the moment there are like hundreds of people, more probably, out there, and they're all sending, you know, uploading all this crap, right? That's going to stop.
Yeah.
There is a natural, it's like survival of the fittest or whatever, but that is going to stop. People are just, they'll do one, they'll just get fed up because nothing will happen. And then it'll be more and more. And just like every cycle, you know, it'll come back again. So that 2 years might actually extend, because in 2 years' time, all they might be gone, you know.
So I believe you're right, but in 2 years' time, remember, AI will have developed so much. Yeah, so that's where I think then people are going to actually be able to publish great books using AI tools, by which time we will have learned the better way of doing it even then.
It's the thing.
But in terms of, we are in a really good position now where, yes, you've got these people producing crap and it's got this glaze, haze, yellow, orange. They're never going to sell anything unless it's to their Auntie Mavis, you know, whatever. And then you've got the people doing they've high production cost and the long production cost, taking a long time to create and produce a book. And again, they're really not going to really get ahead of the curve because they're so slow. They're going at a snail's pace. And then you've got us, we're using AI to create the skeleton, to create the foundation. We want to put out a really high quality, great product that people really want to buy, that people say, wow, I love this. And we're just polishing off and publishing. And then ideally, we're also looking at strategic low content publishing alongside that. So we've got the speed, we can add in a few Amazon ads when we can see we've got a really good one. And therefore, you know, we can absolutely fly as compared to these other 2 pockets of people. So that's why I think we're in a really special place here. Yay! Right, should we do 20 minutes of co-working? Go on, Emily.
Can I ask one more thing?
Yeah.
What were you, I mean, if you are publishing with you, I suppose that there comes a point where we have the little chat about ads or not.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay.
In basic terms, this is what is in my mind. Obviously, it's growing and evolving. What is in my mind is if I can see a book is selling well, I will invest my 50% into those ads so that you guys can keep your 50%.
No,
No,
don't.
well, I am going to do this to test it, right? Because I had a reason, I've forgotten it. Yeah, I want to keep people motivated to keep producing books, and my investment of my amount only for a set period of time that will result in more sales in the future because it will have more reviews. So I see that as a long-term investment rather than me making a loss on my 50% because I want to keep the book publisher motivated to keep producing books rather than losing all their money for years. Whereas it doesn't matter so much for me. I've got a long-term vision. I've got income coming in from the academy. I've got income coming in from my own books. So that's my thoughts on that. That you know, I will invest my part for a set number of months. I don't know, 1 month, 3 months, something like that. And also, it also motivates the collaborator to maybe do some social media from their half, from their side, like, I don't know, Pinterest or TikTok or whatever. Because I can't run 50 social media channels on my own. So I thought that that would be a fair exchange, Emily, when I really thought about it.
Okay.
Hmm.
Well, I'll just keep working on my coloring book. I'm struggling a little bit with ChatGPT to get the prompts that actually give me imagery
Mm.
that translates well. But
Yeah.
For me, it's not as much that, but the whole weekend, it's like it'll, I'm, I'm, I'm in one chat and I have to start another one
Yeah.
because it just stops.
Yeah, mine does that.
And Gemini was doing the same thing.
Mm.
I've got all these images that I'm uploading all the time. These are what we're going with. These, just to try and keep it. Oh, just
Yeah.
tear the
No,
hair out.
mine does the same, and I have to open up a new chat because it just seems to just come to a grinding halt.
Yeah,
Even I'm paying for it, it's
it's
really,
same. But like,
I
yeah.
yeah,
had that.
and because I have Microsoft 365, I
Mm.
have the pro version of Gemini,
Ah, I've not got.
and it's still doing the same. And you're supposed to get 1,000 images a day.
Mm.
And I had 32 or something. And I just was like, "Ugh."
And just while we're venting, can I just vent that when Nano Banana first came out, oh my God, the images it produced were
Oh, I know.
beautiful. They were amazing. But then I feel as though everybody's got on board with it and it's got tired. And now it's really not as good as it was. And I'm like, oh, why didn't I just stay up all night for a whole week when it first came out? But I didn't know.
I said that in the WhatsApp earlier. I said it's like they're on a work to rule, or maybe they're even on strike, because that's what it felt like yesterday.
Don't know what is going on. Go on, Joe.
Abby, I noticed some new YouTube videos observing the same thing, and they're trying to show you there's like a formula that you should use. And I thought of you too because somebody was venting about the aspect ratio not being and
Yeah.
I can't remember what they said. I'm sure I bookmarked it,
Oh,
but they had it was whichever one was first or last would be there was a something. So if I find those, I will let you know because you're not the only one by a long shot. I
yeah.
think
Oh,
it's still
will you put
good.
them in the group, Jody?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, and you have to, it's a machine. You got to maybe work with it. But also, have you tried Sea Dream?
No,
I've never
No.
heard of that.
you're great for these new ones.
Oh, well, it's also yeah, it's by the people that do TikTok. So it's from China, and if that bothers you, but it's I've used it free. So and I don't have a lot of use for it yet. I need a book cover today, so I might be practicing with both of those. But yeah, Abby, I think there's some sort of like you put the subject for the what do you call it, Nano Banana, the subject and the action and the environment
Yeah.
and the something like the angle or the camera shot you want, and then I don't remember what the last thing was. So I figured next time I do it, I'm going to try to
Is it
follow the formula.
Is it SEAGREEN?
Sea Dream, SEEDREAM.
Oh, Sea Dream. Oh,
Sea
okay.
Dream,
All
and
right.
by ByteDance. But it's worth looking at. And I know somebody in this group was having a hard time getting into a free version of Nano Banana.
Yeah.
But and there are a couple ways to do it, but some of them are, ass backwards. So hopefully they can figure that out. But I don't blame you. It's very irritating.
It's very irritating, but I have a solution to this. If something is too hard and we're just doing too many iterations and it's not working, then stop. Stop and do something simpler like Retail
Ooh, look at that.
Rage.
That's so great.
Retail Rage is just words. I mean, this is pretty shit. We could do a better job than this. Oh, sorry if anybody knows this person. Sorry, it's not shit. It's just I say basic, it's not shit. I take that back. But we could do something where you're just filling in some words or have a new iteration of something like that. So that's what I'm doing because I have got totally fed up of my image generation for now. I thought I need a week off this. I need to do something simple and just get something out. So I'm doing something like that. Also, we could just change, pivot a little bit. But again, we do have to do the research and just make sure that it is profitable. But this one is very simple. So we can still create very lovely little images using AI and then ask it to color it in. It can still do this even if it's having a freak attack. So we can just do a little pivot and just create something like really simple. Now I don't, this is an adult coloring book and it really does not look like an adult coloring book, does it? But it's because it's stress relief. That's what they're saying, that it's just simple. It's just for people to just relieve a little bit of stress and just color it in. So I like the idea of, if you're ever having a bad day with ChatGPT or something, if you're collaborating with me, whatever, just go, okay, I'm coming back to that. And for now, I'm just going to carry on with my stress relief book or whatever. And we would do stress relief for teachers, stress relief for nurses, make it unique because this one has been done. They're making tens of thousands a month. We don't want to do another one of these. It's just not going to hit the mark that this one is. People are going to buy this one, not yours. So we need to just do simple stress relief for blah, 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 somebody. Just to niche that down a little bit more and then it'll work. Okay, so this is good, isn't it? Ah, loving this. I'm loving that. Oh, it's the simple things in life. Right, we've only got 10 minutes left. What shall we do? I'm not in any rush to go. Should we just do like 20 minutes of co-working and say I'm going to do this one thing in the next 20 minutes and then we can just say we've done something? Yeah. And also, I'd really like everybody to take away, how are you collecting emails? Are you collecting emails? Have you got a QR code? Have you got a beacon site? It's brand new. It's free to just have a beacons. It just allows you to have a link that has links underneath it. So you could have a little image of each of your top selling books, or you could have some freebies on there. Just make sure that we are building a real business because this is something I didn't do for 10 years. I don't want you to do that too. Okay, I'm going to put my timer on. We'll do 20 minutes. If anybody needs to go, that's absolutely fine. I'll check the chat as well just to see if I've missed anything. Lost my apps. There it is. Trying to think what I'm going to do with my 20 minutes. I don't know. Something. Oh yeah, I might stop the recording now. There's no point me recording.